I'm going to make this a standalone video because somebody dropped this House Resolution 1154 yesterday condemning, you know what? I'm going to read this the way it should be read. I'm going to read this bill the way it should be read because everyone who brought this to the table, Representative Tom Malinowski. How many people have signed this? Let's see, there's 5 co-sponsors. Who are the co-sponsors? Oh, there's Republicans, and this is a bipartisan bill. This is a bipartisan House resolution. It was Tom Malinowski, Democrat, and Denver Riggleman, Republican, Josh Gottmeyer, Democrat, Adam Kinzinger, Republican, Elaine Luria, Democrat, and Brian K. Fitzpatrick, Republican. So you got Republican, 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 Democrat, Democrat, and a Democrat came up with the bill. So let's go back to the text. We're going to read this thing the way it should be read through the eyes of individual liberties. House Resolution 1154. Condemning the First Amendment and the theories the First Amendment promotes. Who cares who said what? Who cares who it offends? Who cares if it's even false? Basically, they want to be the ministers of truth, guys. Here, I'm gonna expand this as much as I can. Let's just take a look at this little House Resolution 1154, shall we? Yeah, forget about the First Amendment. These psychopaths who put their hand on a Bible and raised their right hand toward heaven and said that we will uphold and protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Hey, let me just remind you, congressmen and senators, let me remind you what the First Amendment says here. We'll just put it up on the screen real quick. Congress shall make no law, including House Resolution 1154, respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. I would say that we're about to read an abridgment. Or of the press, or the right of the people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances, abridging the freedom of speech. Let me read it. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Hey, look, a law abridging the freedom of speech. Yay! We follow the Constitution. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop deluding yourself. Stop kidding yourselves. Whereas throughout history, conspiracy theories that falsely blame secret cabals or marginalized groups for society's ills have fueled prejudice, genocide, and acts of terrorism. Guess what? That's protected by the First Amendment. That is protected by the First Amendment. You morons. Whereas this group is a movement promoting a collection of unfounded conspiracy theories that have spread widely on the internet since 2017, that's protected by the First Amendment. Whereas this group right here initially alleged that prominent Americans are engaged in a secret plot to control the world. Oh yeah, that doesn't exist. There's no prominent Americans that are engaged in a secret plot to control the world. Not at all. Not at all. Jeff Bezos. Did I say Jeff Bezos? Elon Musk. Oh, did I say that? Bill Gates. Oh, did I? They've all accumulated more than $2.1 trillion worth of wealth, while the rest of us are waiting in food lines. Yeah, there's no prominent Americans engaged in a secret plot to control the world. We're just shutting the world down because of COVID. That's all it is. But it's not a secret plot to control the world, even though the Rockefellers came out in 2012 with Operation Lockstep, which outlines a plan for prominent Americans to be engaged in a plot to control the world. Never mind, moving right along. This is crazy, man. While using their power to exploit children, oh yeah, that never happens, and has expanded to embrace the virtually every popular conspiracy theory of the last several decades, from questioning the truth about this particular date that you can't, wait a second, from questioning the truth. So here, first of all, you can't question it. Second of all, the official story is the truth and you better shut the frick up. Which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but oh yeah, that's protected by the First Amendment. Questioning anything at any time for any reason is protected by the First Amendment. Spreading conspiracy theories is protected by the First Amendment. Speaking falsehood is protected by the First Amendment. Disagreeing with official stories is protected by the First Amendment. But you know what? They don't care. We're not under a constitutional representative republic anymore. Haven't been for a long time, since at least 1913. To believing in alien land. Oh, you can't even believe, you're not allowed to believe in alien landings anymore. To denying the safety of, you can't even deny, even though it's undeniable that these things are unsafe. Whereas many of these, why is it doing that? Of these kind of followers express these kind of views, and the, let's call it the Jayish supremacy groups has said that the movement's central conspiracy theory includes these kind of elements, whereas conspiracy theories have been a central driver of anti-you-know-what for centuries, and this conspiracy theory, or fanning the flames as this is on the rise in the United States and around the world, whereas the FBI, who has been countless times caught committing the most heinous crimes on American people, up to and including spying on them using the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, the ATF, and all the alphabet soup agencies that are really economically raping and plundering us every single frickin' day. Whereas the FBI has assessed with high confidence that fringe political conspiracies, including this right here, very likely motivate some domestic extremists. Very likely. They don't even know. You don't even have fact. This is based on non-fact. This is all based on fiction. This is based on very likely from an alphabet soup agency from the federal government. Man, I'm glad we're reading every line of this. Motivated by some domestic extremist, wholly or in part, to engage in criminal or violent activity. Yeah, show me one example of where this group right here has encouraged any kind of criminal or violent activity. Show me one. I'm not aware of it. I truly am not. I'm against this movement right here, but I don't know of anybody who pushes it that's engaged in criminal or violent activity. Yeah, they're speaking falsehood, but that's protected under the First Amendment. And that these conspiracy theories, quote, very likely, not definitely, but very likely encourage the targeting of specific people, places, and organizations, thereby increasing the likelihood of violence against these targets. So this is all pre-crime. You haven't committed a crime. But if you do these things, or if you say this, and if you question this, and if you don't believe that official story, well, guess what? Boom. House Resolution 1154. You're sunk. Because what they're saying is House Resolution 1154 is over and above the First Amendment. Basically, it's the middle finger to America. Screw you. You don't have the right to say anything you want anytime you want to do it. Whereas the FBI, the criminal organization known as the FBI bases these assessments on events in which individuals committed crimes, plotted attacks, or successfully carried out deadly violence, and who, either before or after their arrest, attributed their actions to conspiratorial beliefs. What if somebody did that and attributed that to the Communist News Network? Or MSLSD. Yeah, I saw Rachel Madcow one night, and I just felt inspired to go to that pizza joint and just shoot it up. So now MSLSD is going to be on the list? Yeah, right. You think so? There's an agenda here. They set up the psychological operation called the 17, this right here. I don't even want to say it. I don't want to get picked up by an algo. They set that up, sprinkle a little bit of truth in it, and then boom, slam the truth, and for all to see. And now everybody sees what little truth that they were telling as all lies. And it just completely messes everybody up psychologically. That's why we call it a psychological operation. The oligarchs, the social engineers, literally crawl into the control panel of your mind and rewire these people to where they think exactly the way the social engineers have them think. Whereas these adherents have been implicated in crimes that they claim their certain beliefs inspired, including a man arrested in 2018 for planning a bomb in the Illinois Capitol Rotunda to make Americans aware of this conspiracy. Yeah, let's just trash the entire P8 thing because one guy was just, holy mackerel, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is in a House resolution. Let's go ahead and demonize and vilify everybody who's legitimately exposing this because a guy planted a bomb in the Illinois Capitol Rotunda. Number 2, a man arrested in 2018 for using an armored car to block traffic on the Hoover Dam Bypass Bridge. A man in Arizona arrested in 2019 for vandalizing a Catholic church. A woman in Colorado arrested in 2019 for plotting an armed raid to kidnap her child who had been taken from her custody. How about if you told a lie that killed 59,000 servicemen and you continue to propagate that lie 24 hours a day, 7 days a week over the period of 10 years where 1.5 to 3 million people died? Yeah, that's called Vietnam. How about banning that? No, we're not going to ban that. We can't because that's mainstream media. That's the free press. They're allowed to do that. Those people are protected under the First Amendment, but those people aren't. Yeah, you're really gonna protect the people who propagated weapons of mass destruction and led to untold death and destruction, innumerable lives lost, the waste of trillions of dollars. You're going to protect that under the First Amendment, which I agree. They should be allowed to lie. But that's outlandish that they're going to get these people, and these people barely hurt anybody. A woman arrested in New York with a car full of knives after posting a video accusing Joe Biden of participating in child sex trafficking and threatening to kill him. But she didn't hurt anybody. But CNN can be responsible for millions upon millions upon millions of lives lost because of their weapons of mass destruction lie, among other things. That's just not even scratching the surface. But these people right here are not allowed to disagree with the official story because certain crazy people did things because they heard a message. Whereas the FBI further assesses that these conspiracy theories very likely, again, will emerge, spread, and evolve in the modern information marketplace, fostering anti-government. Oh yeah, you don't want to foster anti-government sentiment. You don't want to foster anti-criminal sentiment. That's another synonym for government is criminal. Another synonym for government is slavery. You don't want to foster anti-slavery sentiment, do you? You don't want to be anti-criminal. We don't want to foster anti-criminal sentiment, racial and religious prejudice, and increasing political tensions. Yeah, like the politicians in Washington's District of Criminals don't increase political tensions every single day of their lives as they write laws that make all of us less free and cost more of our paychecks. Whereas according to the Combating Terrorism Center at the United States Military Academy at West Point, this group right now, this right here, is arguably no longer simply a fringe conspiracy theory, but an ideology that has demonstrated its capacity to radicalize to violence individuals at an alarming speed. The CIA doesn't do that. Blackwater doesn't do that. CNN doesn't do that. What a bunch of hypocrisy, all crammed into one House resolution. Whereas Facebook, Twitter, and Google have removed or blocked these groups right here. Fedbook, Twatter, and the Thought Police have removed or blocked these groups and content from their platforms for violating their policies against misinformation, bullying, and hate speech and harassment, as though they're the ministers of truth. Man, oh man, this is just crazy. This is a crazy bill, guys. Crazy bill, top to bottom nonsense. Whereas adherents have been harming legitimate efforts to combat child exploitation and sex trafficking, including by overwhelming anti-trafficking hotlines with false reports, whereas the conspiracy theorists promoted by these people right here undermine trust in America's democratic. We don't have a democratic institution. Democracy, said Benjamin Franklin, is two wolves and a lamb deciding on what to have for dinner. It's a majority rule scenario. It's utterly a democratic system is a corrupt system. So of course you would want to undermine trust in that, encourage rejection of objective reality, and deepen our nation's political polarization. And whereas our nation's polarization is further accentuated by others from the far left to the far right, promoting extreme ideologies and anti-slavery conspiracy theories, anti-corruption conspiracy theories, hijacking legitimate peaceful protests and encouraging followers to damage, deface, or vandalize local, state, and federal government properties and to attack law enforcement Now, therefore, be it resolved that the House of Representatives condemns these people, but they don't condemn themselves. This is the pot calling the kettle black right here. The quintessential psychological operation is in progress in House Resolution 1154. Condemns and rejects the conspiracy theories it promotes, condemns all of the groups and ideologies from far left to far right that contribute to the spread of unfounded conspiracy theories and that encourage Americans to destroy public and private property and attack law enforcement officers, encourages the Federal Bureau of Investigation as well as all federal law enforcement and homeland security agencies who constantly pilfer from and terrorize the American people to continue to strengthen their focus on preventing violence threats. The people who have a monopoly on force and violence are encouraged to strengthen their focus on preventing violence, threats, harassment, and other criminal activities by extremists motivated by fringe political conspiracy theories. Number 4, encourages the intelligence community to uncover any foreign support assistance or online amplification these people receive, as well as any of these affiliations, coordinations, and contacts with foreign extremist organizations or groups espousing violence, and urges all Americans, regardless of our beliefs or partisan affiliation, to seek information from authoritative sources. There you go. Like CNN, MSLSD, faux news, authoritative sources, because we know they'll never lie to you. They'll never decimate truth so they can start a war. They'll never tell you about weapons of mass destruction when the weapons of mass destruction really was a lie. They'll never lead our sons and daughters to the gristmill of war to the tune of trillions upon trillions of dollars. Give me a frickin' break. And to engage in political debate from a common factual foundation. That is 100% top to bottom grade A premium bull S. Bull S. And an absolute violation of the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law, not even House Resolution 1154, abridging the freedom of speech. It's a clown show. It's a big club and you and I ain't in it, man. Guys, we already know that they want to decimate the dollar, destroy the economy, bring us into a cashless society, and eventually make it difficult for us to even get food. That's why I constantly promote My Patriot Supply. Every chance I get, I turn my fiat currency notes into long-term storable food. This stuff is awesome. It's got a 25-year shelf life. And one thing we're all going to need is storable food. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. With my link in the description, you get $100 off of every order instantly. It'd be a good idea to order it while you can, because I'm not sure how much longer they're going to be able to ship this out. My link for your $100 off discount is in the description below.